flat for Jalen Brunson. Allow him to operate at the top. 101.
Brunson gets it, fires up a three. Shot no good. The tip, it's gone. It's gone. It's gone. With 1.2 remaining. Knicks take the lead.
Yeah.
I got no words.
In the house.
I got no words.
I don't have too many words either, other than wow, man, that was insane. That was crazy.
When it's your moment, it's your moment. I think that's what it comes down to. And the Knicks, this is their moment. This is their year. I'm not jinxing anything. They still got one more game to win, but like when you are down 29 points and everybody in the Garden, everybody I know, everyone that is a Knicks fan is all doing the same thing. Like, oh my God, we're about to blow this series. To come back the way they did and to have it happen with the craziest tip I've ever seen in my life. I mean, that you could, like, I saw some people this morning were saying like, oh, was that like a plan? Like, did Brunson intentionally like throw like shoot a shot where it shorted the rim so OG could tip it? I was like, people are crazy. There's no way that was intentional.
No, absolutely not. I don't think you ever intend to shoot the game-winning three-pointer and you shoot it short.
Right.
Let alone get an assisted tip out of nowhere, because like literally OG Anunoby wasn't even in the picture when the shot was launched.
He was the inbounder.
He kind of just came in out of nowhere.
He inbounded the ball.
Everybody. And I know Knicks fans were happy, but I think we were shocked. I think we were like, what?
Well, it's honestly, it's one of those things that happens when you're a fan of a team that has just been breaking your heart year after year after year. That I know this was creeping into my head. I'm sure this is creeping into your head. I was like, is this a fresh way that this team is going to break our heart? Run out to a 2-0 lead and then just methodically lose the series. And you know what? I've given up like trying to psychoanalyze this team. They seem to like playing from behind. It's like they don't wake up unless they're down 10 or 15 now. It's like they're bored. They're like, all right, yeah, let's see. Historic. All right, let's do a historic comeback. That's something we haven't done this year. And I can't say enough about OG Anunoby. I mean, he made the defensive play, which we should get into that, because like, why was Fox trying to go for a shot there? Just dribble the ball out and get fouled. I mean, you're winning. You're up by 1. You don't need to shoot.
But I think it's just that maybe that muscle memory that maybe a lot of basketball athletes just tap into when it's a fast break and you're trailing the defender and you have like a good enough gap, because it looked like for a split second, oh wow, Fox has a good advantageous break to the basket, and the only person that's kind of there is OG, but OG just kicked in another gear. He saw that like Fox got out in head and he almost put his head down, didn't even look ahead of him, just so he can get the speed and get up on him and block the shot. And I was just like, what's going on here, man? The comeback was so epic.
What it reminded me of in that moment, it was like what happens in football games when your team is losing and or winning, I should say, and you have a chance like going for the touchdown. But if you do that, then you give the team the ball back with a chance to possibly tie. And you see the really smart, really savvy teams, they'll run to the 1 yard line and then down. And like, it doesn't always happen. Because like you said, I think the players in that moment, they're like, oh man, touchdown. I got this. I can score. And it takes a lot of coaching. And I think it takes a lot of savvy. And the one thing we kept talking about with the Spurs, they don't have any veterans on this team. They don't have guys that, Fox, yes, he's not young in the sense that Wemby or Castle or the other guys are young. He's 27, whatever he is, 28. Mm-hmm. But like, they don't have that guy on the court who's going to literally like grab the player, be like, listen, whatever happens, if we get the ball, just kill the clock. Like you need that old head on the court or maybe on the bench, like somewhere to just like grab these young guys and be like, don't let the moment be bigger than you. Like take every second off this clock and we win the game. Like I was stunned. I was stunned by Wemby missing both free throws, and then I was stunned by that play because I in my head I was like, oh, we're going to lose this game on free throws. That's exactly what I thought was going to happen. I thought Fox was going to either go for layup, get fouled, or was going to do one of those like where they run like around the basket and then come back out, and then the Knicks are going to have to grab them. So the fact that neither of those things happened and we got a block was just unbelievable. And then obviously the play after that with Wembanyama, with OG was just it's going to live forever. I was saying to some people last night, I remember watching the Larry Johnson 4-point play, and like in that moment, knowing that like I'm going to remember that the rest of my life, even though they didn't win the title that year. That was just like epic. And the fact that it was in the finals, possibly swung the finals, it's forever. It's a forever moment.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the most iconic moments in Knicks history. And for those that are just jumping in the live stream, because we're also doing a TikTok live stream, we are talking about Knicks Spurs 107-106 last night, game 4. In epic fashion, the Knicks clawed back for the improbable win. I think by all accounts, maybe a lot of people may have thought the beginning of the second half that, I don't know, let's just maybe make this a respectable loss. Let's not just lose by this much, maybe lose by 10 or something. I didn't think the Knicks were gonna come back, but they did have the mentality of just let's chip away at the lead, let's just keep digging our heels back in. And I think by all accounts, you've seen in the fourth quarter with about maybe 6 minutes to go, 5 minutes to go, they're like, all right, the Knicks could probably do this because it's only down like, 10, 12. You can kind of come back from that. And it just was a slow, gradual chip. So a lot of folks are saying a lot of things. I think it's a combination of things, but do you think this is the biggest choke job in NBA Finals history or the biggest comeback in NBA Finals history or a combination of the two?
I mean, I still think the biggest choke job was the Atlanta Falcons blowing the Super Bowl to the Patriots because the difference with that game was, and the difference between football and basketball is like you literally control the clock a lot more in football. Like you can just hold the ball and run plays and kill and if not to relitigate that game, but like they're up huge and they're still throwing the ball. And it's like, no. Like they were up by like 20 something points. It's like run the ball, kill 10 minutes of this game, and you won the Super Bowl. And for some reason, they were still trying to throw the ball. In basketball, like it's possession by possession. And I will say the thing that I thought was weird about the Spurs was that, and again, I'm going to keep harping on this. They're a young team. And same thing like with what happened earlier in the series, maybe a timeout would have helped this team kind of like regroup, especially as this run was coming. Because the Knicks, like you said, had to do it in bits and pieces. It was 29, then it was like 20, and then it was like 15 for a while. And I could sense that like a lot of Knicks fans were like, can we just get it to single digits? If we can get it to single digits, then anything's possible. And it kept like you said, kept being 12, and then they would score. And I want to give props to Jose Alvarado, who hit 2 big shots right when it seemed like the Spurs were going to take momentum back. He kind of said, no. We're still coming back into this game. And once they got it to single digits, I will tell you, I was like, I don't know how, but they're winning this game. Once it got below 9, I was like, I don't know how it's happened. I don't know how they have shaved 20 points off in like 6 minutes. But at that point, I was like, this is the Knicks. I never thought I'd say this. This is a team of destiny. This is a team that just knows how to win.
I agree. I mean, it felt like for a moment it stayed at that stubborn 7-point lead. It was like a stubborn 4-point lead that just the Knicks couldn't quite get over. And I was like, man, we're right there. Why can't we not just get over that 7-point lead hump? They just, you know what I mean? We kept it right in and around there. And you're right. It just, OG kind of locked in. I mean, I really thought that we kind of blew it when Josh Hart missed that open break. Like, it seemed like he wanted to dunk it, but I don't know, somehow control the ball going.
I think he like jumped too early or something. Like I think what happened, if you look at it, I think he thought he was going to get fouled. So I think he was kind of bracing himself for contact. And then the Spurs guy kind of like jumped with him, but not on him.
Yeah.
And so at the last second, I think Hart was sort of like bracing himself and either didn't take the best jump possible or maybe jumped early because he was expecting contact. And when it didn't come, I think he went, oh my God. And like you could see it in his eyes where he's like, I'm not going to be able to dunk this. Let me see if I can just like place it in the basket. And oh man, that and then when he missed the rebound also, those were 2 moments where I was like, Josh Hart has given everything. He has been just a warrior on the court. So I'm not going to kill him for making mistakes. But oh my God, my first flashback in that moment was this is going to go way back for Knicks fans. And this is a name that I know Knicks fans might not want to hear because it's very painful. But it reminded me of Charles Smith. It reminded me in the Bulls game with Charles Smith where we had 3 chances to win that game at point-blank range, and he just missed and missed and missed. And the fact that we won this game, the fact that OG Anunoby picked his teammate up, to me, it says everything about this team right now. That the brothership that they've built, the ability that they have to just like look at any lead and be like, nah, we're good. Like, don't worry, 29, 20, whatever. Like it's fine. We're gonna be fine. And you even saw it after the game. Like Brunson, everyone around him's going nuts. Like, the whole crowd's going nuts. The fans don't want to leave. And Brunson, like, just calmly is like, he's like, yep, one more game. Like, it was so crazy to me how these guys are the calmest people in this hurricane.
Hey, OG. Liam McCune from Sports Illustrated. You just hit the game-winning shot in an NBA Finals game in front of your home crowd. How does that feel?
It feels cool. I mean, everyone's pretty excited. I'm excited too. I'm excited too. We're all excited. We're enjoying it right now, but we're just focused on the next game now.
Well, OG is like one of the calmest ones. He's sitting there at the press conference talking about.
Just like pretty good.
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, pretty excited. That's pretty good.
People are laughing and like, you're excited, dude. You're not even showing it. It's like,
I know, but it makes sense.
Cartoon character Droopy. He's like, you know what? I'm happy, and he's just like, he doesn't express it like in a outwardly way, but I think that's good though. I think it's good to still kind of be like, all right, great, you guys be excited.
Right.
We're internalizing it, but we still got to play another game. So,
right.
Like, what do you say about how can you feel as a Spur to think to yourself, what do we got to do to beat this team? Because it's like if a 29-point lead is not enough to beat them, how are you going to beat them?
I think they got to call it the president and be like, come to game 5. I mean, that to me seems to be the only thing they can do.
Oh man!
I have to say, like, I was reading some of the quotes after the game and seeing some of the press conference stuff this morning, and like you could see it. Like Wembanyama put on a strong face, and I give him credit because he was like, "Yeah, we lost this game," and he basically said, "He's like, there's 2 ways you can go. You can either be broken by it, or you can learn from it." Mm-hmm. And again, as we keep saying, like they're young enough that maybe they just roll off their shoulder. But I mean, this game was one of those games where it's like it's going to haunt you. And even if they win game 5, it's almost like expected that they're going to win game 5 because it's like, oh, the Knicks are on this high, and the Spurs need it almost for their morale just to feel like good about themselves again. Because if the Knicks go in there and just blow them away in game 5, people are going to just be like, were the Spurs even good to begin with? Like you're going to start hearing that stuff where it's like Spurs were overrated, they weren't even that good. So it's like this could be like a real fork in the road for this entire team sort of identity. It's like, can they at least rebuild their psyche enough to move forward? Like I think this championship I think is done. I'm not counting it as the Knicks title yet, but to see the Spurs win 3 straight games with the magic the Knicks have going on, I personally don't see it.
I don't see it either.
I've been wrong, but I don't see it. But the Spurs going forward, like for the years to come with such a young team, it's like, is this always going to linger in the back of their head where they're like, man, we had a chance for a championship and it didn't happen. As we say with every other sport, we don't know when windows open or close. I'm not saying the Spurs window is closing, but I'm just saying, like, to lose this kind of a game and this kind of a title, it does damage you might not be aware of.
Well, the Spurs will always have to go up against OKC seemingly every year, or whatever juggernaut lies in the West. Like that Western path is not paved, to paved in gold. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And so you're right. The window is there for them. I think psychologically, maybe they can kind of recollect themselves, come back and play a good game. I just think, to your point, 3 games in a row.
Yeah, and if it went to game 6 back at the like that just again, I think I said that at the beginning when we were making our predictions. I was like, it is just sitting there for Knicks in 6, win the title at MSG. The whole city basically like takes the rest of the month off. Everyone is just going nuts in the street. Like it makes too much sense. I mean, sure they could win game 5, but I just feel like it almost needed, like it would be poetic to get game 6 at home and get the title in front of the fans there. I will say
it would be, but you don't want to but you don't want to play around with the Spurs though. You want to just put this team away.
And they have. Yeah. That's the one thing they've done these playoffs is when they have a chance to kill these teams, they've done it. They came back and they killed Atlanta. They killed the 76ers. They killed Cleveland. So, like, a part of me almost thinks the Knicks will just do it in 5 because they're just going to – they've been so, like, methodical when they have a chance that, to me, I'm saying for the romantic in me is like, oh, no, let's win it in 6 at home. But, winning in 5 is good too, and then we have the parade. Like, either way. Just
6,
win it.
But 6 could be it could be unexpected pressure for the Knicks. I'm not saying that the Knicks would just fold because, obviously this game is an indicator that they can come back from anything. But you don't want to play around with your food. I think you just want to go ahead and eat it, put the Spurs out of their misery. Or if they play a great game and you come back to the Garden, do it. Do the damn thing. But do not do no Game 7. If you do a Game 7, now you're messing around.
Are weird, and you're playing with fate there.
You're messing around. You're playing with fire. You don't want to. You don't want to have a win like this and then mess around in a Game 7 because you're like, what? That will sit for a long time, you know? So let me read a comment or two to see what's going on. Right. They said, Ace21, Player 3000 says, laugh out loud, don't play with your food. I agree, man. Just get in there and get the job done. Great experimentation with Mike Brown and coaching and throwing things in there and making timeouts and just doing everything, throwing the kitchen sink out there to make things happen. Because if I'm not mistaken, Sohan was out there for a few minutes, right?
When you're down that much, it's like, let's just throw somebody out there that just might have a spark. And you saw it early on. Like my fear with this game was kind of how it unfolded early, where it's like Towns got the early fouls. He has to come out. Knicks are a little cold. The Spurs come in red hot. Like, there were all the signs early that this could be a tough game. I wasn't expecting it to be like a 29-point blowout in the first half. But I as the game started, I was like, these don't look like good signs for the Knicks early on. But as we keep saying, this is a team that just like never panics. They almost seem to enjoy it when everybody's like panicking around them. Like we keep saying, like they're just the calmest guys in a hurricane. So
yeah,
it's remarkable.
I have to make an admission because I did a live stream yesterday before the game, and I predicted, and I wasn't. I mean, technically, we're going to go into technically now, but I didn't think the Knicks were going to win this game, Game 4. I did not think they were going to win, and I thought the reason they weren't going to win was because of how the Knicks play. They can play physical, but they don't play physical like in terms of like 90s Knicks basketball. Now I know it's a different era and we don't play like that. We play a respectable game and whatnot. But I thought because of what Wemby did in Game 3 with Jalen Brunson in terms of mushing him and how no one really even checked him after that, other than Jalen Brunson, which pointing the finger about when you better, I thought the hit was going to be in for sure.
It kind of was.
It kind of was, but hear me out on that though. It's like when you have to put a hit on a player, you have to do it like within the first 2 minutes of the game. You can't do it when you're in the second quarter and you're down 17 points. Because I know Mitchell Robinson gave him that little bit of a throat check, but that's kind of because Wemby was egging him on. But I was like, if they do not play the Spurs physical, the Spurs are going to outplay them, and that's what happened in the first half. But the Knicks just kind of turned that gear, and Spurs got happy and thought they can still keep shooting threes and keep playing loose. And I don't know. I mean, I think what's the coach? Mitch for
Mitch
Spurs.
Johnson, yeah.
I think his coaching was very poor in the second half because you didn't take timely timeouts. You didn't tell your team, hey man, stop jacking the threes. Go back to what we were doing. They definitely let the ball go. And then there was a lot of timely things. Yeah, obviously the Fox thing, but I'm not going to put it all on Fox. I think it was a collective team drop the ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that does come down to coaching. It comes down to coaching ultimately. That if the players are not fully prepared for every scenario, obviously you can't plan for like an insane, an insane three putback. But I'm saying like in the minutes leading up to that, when it became clear that this was going to become a 1 point or one possession game, the Spurs still felt to me very like disjointed and like you weren't really sure where the offense was going to come from. They were relying a lot on Wemby to just sort of like be taller than everybody and shoot a shot. And he's good enough that he was making them, but like that's not really an offense. And the Knicks always have this weird way of like the closer the game gets, I feel like other guys, they grow into the game better. Like, the fact that OG Anunoby had, the game of his life, basically. Brunson, who continues to be sort of like hit or miss with his shots, as soon as the fourth quarter comes in, he becomes like Michael Jordan. Like, then he can't miss. It's like the first three quarters, he looks like,
he's getting practice.
Yeah, I guess he's just getting up shots. But like, come the fourth quarter, it's like he becomes money in the bank. And it's really like for the Knicks, it just becomes like who can join him in that sort of struggle. And obviously having OG in this game, having Alvarado for a couple shots. I know Towns hit a big three at one point, which I saw was like his first points in the fourth quarter, which like that blew my mind because everybody's been saying how great he's been in the series. So for him to be like not scoring much in the fourth quarter was sort of insane to me. But I just think the problem with the Spurs is that I feel like they felt that they were going to win this game the way they'd been playing the whole time. And as we've seen all playoffs, the Knicks make adjustments. They adjust how they're playing. They adjust what they're attacking. They adjust how they're, they've started to keep trying to trap Brunson, which is why they kept Alvarado out there as a second ball handler to take the pressure off of Brunson. And like, those are things the Spurs didn't seem to then want to counter because they were like, nah, we're okay. We're winning. We're up by 5. We're up by 10. Like they as I said before, they were playing like they were almost like the game was inevitable. And sure, it felt that way for a while, but like as it eked closer, it was just like they just gave control of the game away.
They were playing like with an artificial lead, meaning it's like they probably felt like we got the lead, we got this. As long as we just kind of keep just wasting time, we'll still come out on top. I don't think they realized how much clock was left and how everyone keeps saying there's still time left. The Knicks could still do this. I think they were just like, well, we got the lead. You know what I mean? As long as we can maintain this 17-point lead, this 15-point lead, 12-point lead, 10-point lead, 8-point lead. We still got the lead.
Right. We're up by 2. It's fine. Don't worry.
I know, right? And it's like we said last time on our last podcast that you could take this, Brunson's going to always get his. And then the rest of the starters, it's like you could spin the wheel and just the pointer will land on somebody. And that might be the person who's going to come up big. We always have a player that comes up big. And last night it happened to be OG Anunoby, but he did not just come up big. He came up huge. He was one of the primary reasons why I think the Knicks kind of made that improbable win because the block on De'Aaron Fox, so reminiscent of LeBron James, his historic block, and then the tip in because Jalen Brunson left it a bit short, short.
I mean, when he shot it, I was like, I don't like that shot.
It was a deep three.
It was deep
to the line.
And Wemby was on him, so it had to feel like a high arcing shot.
And he was like, I'm letting it fly. And I was like, okay.
I mean, the only thing good about it, and it played out that way, was like he shot it early. Because like the one thing you want to have on the last second shot is like the ability to get a rebound. If you shoot it when there's only like 1 second left and you miss, that's it. He shot it with enough time that Anunoby was able to touch it. It was almost too much time because then the Spurs got another possession. But I do think what's fascinating now, and I'd be curious what you think. I'd be curious what the viewers think. Like, is Anunoby now the MVP if they win the series?
Is Anunoby the MVP? You heard my co-host ask that question. What say you guys out there in the live stream? We'll probably get an answer. It's like got a filter and then they got to start to type it in. But
what do you think? If they win, let's say they win Game 5 and it's over in 5.
If they win Game 5, I mean, it's going to depend on like who does what in Game 5. You know what I mean? Because I think definitely for sure that this is a crowning moment for OG for sure. But what happens in Game 5? What if Jalen Brunson goes for 45? Then you got to kind of maybe tip the scale the other way. As of right now, I would have to say so because I mean they would have this would be tied 2-2, and if it was tied 2-2. The complex of the series changes so dramatically. Now you're in for a dogfight. You gotta win 2 more. It could conceivably go 7 games. You know what I mean? With this win, it's like you said. Yeah, the Spurs can win the next game, but they're not winning this whole entire series, man. 3 games in a row. I just no. I can't see the Knicks just collapse like that, and I don't think anyone.
The truth is, a different Spurs team I could see doing this because if you remember. Years ago, the Spurs lost that crazy finals to the Heat when Ray Allen hit that corner 3 to beat the Spurs. And then they came back the next year and won. But that Spurs team had Popovich, Duncan, Ginobili, Parker. Like it had veterans that had been there for a decade plus.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I know I keep harping on it, but it's like this team is so young. I just think this, if anything, is just going to like maybe make them super stronger in the future. But the reason the Knicks are coming through, I really believe this, is because collectively they have so much experience. They've been through now several playoff runs as a unit like this.
Right.
And you've seen it. You've seen them get their hearts broken a couple times. You've seen them kind of learn to win almost in real time. And I do think that there's something to that. I do think there's a reason why you don't see very young teams win a lot of titles, if any. I can't think of any real teams where it's like their best player was 21 or 22. It's usually the guy's 26, 27, 28.
Right. Yeah. And I think when OKC won, they had a lot of young players, but they were still kind of like in their mid-20s, most of them.
Yeah. I mean, Shea's 27, I think.
Something like that. Yeah. And so these guys are in their early 20s. So yeah, I mean, Stephon Castle is 21. So I mean, like
Dylan Harper's 20. That's what I mean. Wemby's 22.
Like so
these
fresh
guys are
and young.
Exactly. Some of them are just learning how to drink.
But
legally.
yeah, so I get they want, and I get they've really proven that they did what it takes to get here. But I think the experience and the mental gymnastics are kind of like what separate the boys from the men, so to speak. So I think in due time they will get theirs. It just doesn't feel like now is the time, and they definitely shouldn't lower their heads or feel bad about it. However, they'll definitely want to reflect on this loss because I mean, this is one of those losses, man. That I gotta throw and not a bad shot, but I gotta throw something out there to Stephen A. Smith because he's out there on his platform's First Take talking about. He didn't even watch that last shot. He was so nervous that he closed his eyes and he prayed. And I get it. You just don't want your heart broken. You don't even want to see how it's going to happen. But come on, man. You're not going to watch the last shot. I watched it. My eyes were glued. I was like this.
I know.
Watching it with just like, and when he missed, it was like, you heard that collective, oh, and then the tip, and then,
Yeah, I mean, it was
like,
the crazy. It was the
thing.
craziest like sound change I've ever seen in my life. Where
why would you not watch
everyone's heart was broken, and then they were all in heaven within 0.2 seconds.
Why would you not watch that though? I just feel like even if they were going to lose, why would you not see it? Why would you not watch it? Because now you have to say to yourself, well, you lost. You didn't even see the greatest moment that happened in Knicks history because you were in so much doubt, and you had to, and you're praying, and hopefully you believe in your head of heads that the prayer mattered, but
maybe. Well, if that's the case, then maybe Stephen A. should stop watching games. That's what it takes to win a title? Sure.
Close your eyes every time, Stephen A. Close your
Exactly.
eyes. I don't know, man. I don't get that part, but man, it's and I think it was good. I think it was a great win to where I'd have to take more to social media to look, but it didn't look like we were wilding out. I just think we were just so happy, shocked, and elated that we were just like, it was a collective sigh. No one was really going too crazy out there in the city. Although I do have to watch because I'm sure there's that specific group.
Oh, yeah. Like anything. There's going to be some people that are a little bit nuts, but I would say 99% of the fans were just jumping up and down in euphoria because everybody was so beaten up. By halftime, you could sense that like some people were like, "Do we even watch the second half? Like, why put ourselves through this?" The reason I kept watching was because I was like, this team has continued to prove me wrong, where it's like no lead is safe, no game is over. And the only other team I can remember that did this, I think it was the 2000 Yankees, who had a couple of like walk-off bottom of the ninth wins, where it was like, do I watch this? They're down by 2. All right, I'll watch one more at bat, and then they would win. And like this Knicks team is proven to be that exact same template, where they're just like, no, don't count us out. Like, yeah, no, we're making it tough. We're making it really tough to keep believing in us. But I promise you, if you follow all the way to the end and you keep your eyes open at the end, we'll be there.
Well, remember that game we watched? I think we were in Brooklyn, maybe, and it was an early Knicks game, and it was me, you, and your buds, and we were the Knicks were doing okay, and then they went down big. And then we just like, all right, well, game is over. We left. We're driving home. And then you started texting me saying, yo, the Knicks won.
Yeah.
And I know
that was what? I think that was 2 years ago, or was that last year? It was a previous year. But like,
oh yeah, like I think the year before or something.
I think it was
like
last year's playoff run. And that to me, like, it's hard to almost talk about this team in some ways because it's like there's almost this like elemental aspect that you can't really break down with like numbers or X's and O's. It's just this team just has a collective will to win. And I think it really keeps coming back to what we were saying at the top. They are so unfazed. They are so just like business-like that doesn't matter what gets thrown at them. They're just like, all right, yeah, we'll deal with it. Like there's never a moment where they seem like, oh my God, what are we going to do? They're just sort of like, all right, we're down 20. What do we do? We're down 10. What do we do? We're down 1. What do we do? And I do think that's why they're one game from the title, because they are just so determined to just get to the goal. And it is very Michael Jordan-like. It's very Kobe-like. It's very Tim Duncan-like, where they never get too high. They never get too low. When they win, all right, cool. We'll get another one tomorrow. When they lose, all right, we'll be back tomorrow. Like, I'm going to be so interested to see how they react when they win the title. If we see that just wall of emotion disappear and you see Brunson just like explode, I don't know. I feel like he's going to still have that same stoic look. Maybe he'll smile a little more, but you just get the sense that this team is just like, no, this is who we are. We're here to win. And if we win, great. That's our job. And if we lose, we're going to fix it because we're going to win tomorrow. Like it's so interesting to watch because it's so different than, frankly, any Knicks team I've ever watched.
I would suspect that the Knicks win, this entire team, they're all going to let it out. They're finally all going to let their hair down and really express the true emotions, including Jalen. He'll probably still be the most reserved out of all of them when it comes to the press conferences and this and that. But we're going to see the jokester, slap happy nature, comical nature of Josh Hart. We'll probably see the goofiness, a little bit of Mikal Bridges. We'll definitely see emotions on Cat. He's probably going to be one that's going to be crying and doing the most. And I think by all accords, we will probably see a genuine smile and laughter from OG Anunoby. I just think they're just trying to temper their expectations because I think until you actually get it, you can't be there. You know what I mean? You're not in that moment yet. And you can't put yourself up in that false sense of security of celebrating early and then possibly even, giving it away. So they're locked in. They're focused. I unmistakably doubted them. Listen, I got to apologize to Knicks Nation for even thinking that they were going to lose last night when it seemed all hope was lost. I'm sorry. But the Knicks are it. They are doing it, and they are doing it in a fashion where, like you said, here's my thing. I think this is you tell me what you think, and I think I might have told you this already, but I think when the Knicks win, because I just got to put that out there now, when the Knicks win, I do think that Spike Lee should make both a feature-length documentary and a feature-length film on the Knicks 2025-2026 championship season, including the regular season and the playoffs. He's got to make a documentary and a movie, and they got to be concurrent. Like he's got to, once they win, he's got to go ahead and jump on the ball and make this happen. So it's not like 2 years later than the film comes out. It's got to come out soon.
Who's playing who though? Like who's playing Brunson in the movie?
Well, I don't think the feature film has to necessarily be like a biopic or anything like that. I think the feature film could be like I don't know, like it could be a story about the Knicks championship, but then you're talking about the fringe fans that are watching it. And
I see. So it's like the Knicks championship is happening while a story's happening.
While a story's happening, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. I thought you meant you wanted to make a movie about this title run. I was like, well,
the documentary will be about the title run. The documentary will be specifically because he's done it. He's already done documentaries on like Kobe Bryant and this player and that. He did the Michael Jordan ads. Spike, now is your time to do it, man. If you are basically the New York Knicks fan ambassador, you're the unofficial mascot. You're the dude that's been rocking with them forever. You got to do it. There's no.
I almost wonder would he be too close? Would it be like making a movie about yourself almost? Like he's been so enmeshed in this fandom that it's like maybe someone has to make a documentary about Spike Lee going through this experience.
Maybe. We'll put it like this. I say this to all the New York City, New York State area filmmakers. Do a documentary. I don't care if they're, unauthorized, authorized documentaries. Someone's got to, there's got to be like at least 12 of them. And I'm going to watch all of them.
Oh, yeah.
All of them. because I love me some sports documentaries, man, especially really good ones. But I know Spike has that special flavor. You know what I mean? He's got that, he I think this would bring him back to relevancy. I think this would, his movies as of late have been kind of like, all right, Spike, you're still making films. Okay, great. Because Highs to Lows wasn't, didn't push the needle to me. I thought it was an okay film, but I would love to see a feature film that he did involving that. Put Denzel in it. Then maybe the whole nation really wants to see it. Put Denzel in it. Put Michael B. Jordan in it. Put some top celebrities in it. But put it out there. Could be about an agent who's an agent of one of the players, and like this is you know what I mean. This could be like his final year because that player might want to go somewhere else. All types of storylines.
I got it for you.
Got it?
I got the pitch for you.
What is it?
It's He Got Game 2, where Denzel Washington is an assistant coach, just like Rick Brunson is an assistant coach.
Ooh.
And it's his son's team winning a title on the Knicks. So Denzel is the Rick Brunson character on a Knicks team that's winning a title in New York.
He Got Game 2.
Yep.
Okay.
Or maybe He Got Game also.
I think people would tune in for that. I definitely
would.
But do you have to have a true to life NBA star playing the
Make it? I'm trying to think who's a good actor.
Because when I heard about He Got Game, the original one, I heard that Stephon Marbury was approached to play that role, and it was supposed to be about him. That whole role that Ray Allen played, that was really the Stephon Marbury character. But since Spike Lee asked him to audition, Marbury turned it down because he says, "Why am I going to audition playing myself?" And like Spike was like, "Well, because you gotta, I gotta see how you can act.
Right? Can you act? Right?
You gotta see if you can act." And he said, "No, I'm not auditioning to play myself." And he never got that role because of that. And then Ray Allen did, and there was mixed results about Ray Allen's acting or whatever. I mean, he's a basketball player. Who are some other players that were on that team? Because I remember there were some Kentucky players, Kentucky Wildcats players that became Knicks. They escapes my mind at that time. But I remember that was a time when I really felt like the Knicks had that energy, that juice a little bit.
Yeah, it was the mid-late 90s. The whole idea of like the point guard,
that one player McCarthy or something like that, or
I think Walter McCarty was a guy.
Yeah, Walter McCarty. Yeah, Walter McCarty. And I was high on him when he was on the
guys. That was like the time when the Knicks first seemed like they might be building something, and then it kind of went nowhere.
It went nowhere fast. Marcus Camby, Sprewell, John Wallace. I remember that John Wallace. He was such a disappointment, man. He had so much hype coming in, man. His hype coming in was about as big as the hype of Derek Coleman. Remember Derek Coleman?
Derek Coleman and Kenny Anderson. Yeah, I mean, I remember all those guys.
Huge hype, and just I couldn't quite do it, man. But I say that's what Spike should do. But I like that, though. I like that. He got Game 2, Spike. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. If the Knicks
win, with Coach Denzel on the bench, and he's got the the psychoanalyst and psychodrama that we see sometimes with Rick and Jalen, like that. I'll tell you what. What'll give me a tear, and I've been thinking about it a lot. Seeing Rick and Jalen hug after they win the title.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you saw that a couple rounds ago when Rick was in Jalen's face and just like yelling at him. And everybody's like, "Oh my God, he's yelling at his son." And it was like, it worked. Whatever the hell they talked about. Jalen might have kind of like given him that kind of like, yes, whatever sort of like reaction, but whatever they talked about, he internalized it. And you saw it in the series. Like Rick Brunson looked like he was going to fight DeAndre De'Aaron Fox. I think it was game 1 or 2. Like he ran out onto the court, and it was like, whoa. You're a coach. You're not just someone's father.
He's a little bit too passionate. Anyway, give me your final thoughts on it because we got about a minute and a half left.
Knicks are just so they're magic. It makes me very, very, very proud to be a fan of this team because they prove time and time again that the reason we watch sports is to see amazing things and to see things that we're never going to forget. And they gave us another one of those moments last night.
Absolutely. I think this is one of the most impressive historic runs I have ever seen, but perhaps from any team, going back to the Lakers and Golden State Warriors teams. This is nothing short than magical, sensational, inspirational. You cannot take anything away from these Knicks. You could try, but you can't. These Knicks have just been sweeping teams, beating teams, coming back. They're a sight to behold. And if you had the opportunity to be even watching these games, you understand the magic. So that is it for us with the Bounce Report. Be sure to follow us on TikTok at Bounce Report. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at NY Bounce Report. Follow us on YouTube at Bounce Report. But follow us, check us out, subscribe. We are out there. We are everywhere. We are doing it, baby.
Knicks.
6 or 5.
Or 6.
Or 6. We shall see. But yeah, we rocked it. We did the damn thing again. Wonderful times, man. Great time to be doing this podcast. Now we finally got it rocking at the right time.